Kush had stood for over 1,000 years before Rome was even a city. They had built pyramids when Rome was fields, ruled kingdoms when Rome did not exist, traded across 3 continents when Rome was still learning what trade meant, and when Rome, the greatest empire the world had ever seen, finally turned its eyes south toward Kush's borders, they sent a message first: submit, pay tribute, or be destroyed. The Queen of Kush read it. Then she sent her army north. 5 years later, the empire that had never signed a peace treaty, as the defeated party, signed one, on her terms. Every concession, all Kushes. Her name was Amanirenas, one eye, unbroken, the only ruler in the ancient world who handed Augustus Caesar a result he did not dictate. This is her story. South of Egypt, along the Middle Nile, sat a kingdom the world keeps trying to forget. Kush, ancient, iron-rich, wealthy enough that its trade routes fed the ancient world in gold and ivory. Its pyramids still stand in what is now Sudan, and it ran differently from anything Rome understood. The rulers of Kush were called Kandakes, not queen consorts, not regents holding a throne warm for a king. Kandakes, warrior queens who governed commanded armies and answered to no one. When Amanirenas held that title, Kush was at peace. Its borders were strong, its trade routes were moving, its people were not asking to be anybody's province. Then Augustus Caesar finished conquering Egypt in 30 BC and decided the kingdom to the south would pay Rome for the privilege of existing near its new territory. The Kushites were not consulted, they were taxed. Amanirenas didn't petition Rome. She didn't negotiate from a position of submission. She mobilized. A Kushite army swept north across the Roman border into Upper Egypt. The city of Aswan fell. 3 Roman cohorts, trained, disciplined, professional soldiers of the most battle-hardened military in human history, scattered before they could regroup. Rome had expected a border dispute, a small kingdom making noise before accepting the inevitable. What they found was something else entirely. The Kushites didn't fight like a people asking for mercy. They fought like a people who had been here for 1,000 years before Rome existed, and intended to be here for 1,000 more. Then her soldiers found the statues, bronze heads of Augustus Caesar, standing across the occupied territory as Rome's daily reminder of who was in charge. Pulled from their pedestals, destroyed where they stood. One was taken back to Meroë, not melted, not discarded, buried deliberately beneath the entrance steps of a victory temple, so that every Kushite who walked through those doors would walk over the face of Augustus Caesar. That head was found by archaeologists in 1910, still under the steps, still being walked on. Rome's response was swift and massive. The general Gaius Petronius marched south with 2 full Roman legions. He pushed deep into Kushite territory. He burned towns. He captured forts. He drove toward Kush's heartland with the full weight of Roman military power behind him. For a moment, it looked like Rome would finish this quickly. It did not finish quickly. Kush pulled back into terrain Rome didn't know. Heat that worked against Roman armor and Roman supply lines. A population that gave Rome nothing. No intelligence, no provisions, no cooperation. Every mile Petronius pushed south cost more than the mile before it. And Amanirenas kept striking from every direction she could find. While Petronius held the north, Kushite forces hit the gaps in his lines. Roman supply chains stretched thin. The campaign that was supposed to last weeks stretched into months, months into years. back and forth across the border, Rome advancing, Kush absorbing and striking back, neither side able to land the blow that ended it. And in one of those years of grinding war, a weapon found her, an arrow, a spear. The ancient accounts differ on the instrument. They agree on the result. She lost her eye. Her commanders wanted her to fall back, to recover, to let someone else hold the line. She stood up, blood down her face, one eye, still standing, and she kept fighting. Kush was not fighting because they thought they could destroy Rome. They were fighting to make Rome decide the cost wasn't worth it. You cannot break what will not bend. And after 5 years of trying, Rome finally understood that. The standoff bled into diplomacy. Kushite ambassadors reached Augustus Caesar on the island of Samos. What happened next, the historian Strabo recorded, and it still reads like something that shouldn't have been possible. Rome asked for peace, not demanded, not imposed, asked. The terms Augustus agreed to. Roman troops would withdraw from the contested border. All hostages would be returned with no ransom. No tribute would ever be demanded from Kush. Every concession, all Kush's. The same man who had remade the known world in his own image, who had defeated Antony and Cleopatra, who had made the Mediterranean a Roman lake, agreed to every term a one-eyed queen from the kingdom south of Egypt put on the table. Because she had made the arithmetic clear, occupying Kush would cost more than it was worth. Rome never invaded Kush again, not in her lifetime, not in the century after her, not ever. Ruled for years after the treaty. She rebuilt, she strengthened Kush's borders, and she never covered the scar. She carried it like a crown, openly, without apology. Every soldier, every dignitary, every foreign envoy who entered her court saw the mark of the empire that tried to break her and failed. The bronze head of Augustus stayed under those temple steps, Rome's face under Kushite feet. The empire that had never lost signed a peace treaty as the defeated party. The one-eyed queen from the kingdom they called a footnote forced the most powerful state in human history to walk away. And she was not the first Kandake to do something history wasn't prepared for. She wasn't the last. Before her, Kandake had ruled Kush alone. No king beside her, no regent above her, carving her own image into temple walls at a time when women governing alone was simply not done anywhere else in the ancient world. After her, Amanirenas would raise temples and pyramids across the Kushite heartland that still stand today. A builder queen whose monuments outlasted every empire that tried to erase her kingdom's name. The warrior queens of Meroë governed and commanded and built one of the ancient world's most sophisticated states across 3 centuries, while the rest of the world was still deciding whether Africa was worth understanding. Amanirenas is where this story begins. She is not where it ends.